Hey, thanks for watching Drawing for Adults. This class is offered as a partnership between the Ann Arbor District Library and the Ann Arbor Art Center, both located downtown Ann Arbor. Today we're going to be drawing portraits in color. If you haven't yet watched my video that I made a while back on just drawing the portrait, that might be a good idea to review first. I will be going over some of the standard measurements for a portrait, but I'll go a little bit more in detail on the other video, which you can find on AADL TV's YouTube channel. I'll be drawing this digitally, of course, and mostly like as if I'm using acrylic paint. But if you don't have acrylics and you have, soft pastels or colored pencils or something like that, that will work just as well. So here is an example of what I'll be drawing today. This is actually a portrait of one of my painting professors from college, and he is currently battling leukemia, and my thoughts and prayers are with him, and I wanted to dedicate this to him. So as you can see, I have started the portrait, and I started with the head shape. I'm looking at a photo reference, and head shapes are always really important to get in there. But it's something that, while I do that at the beginning, it's something that I will likely adjust throughout my sketch and even throughout my painting. So the eyes are centered there on the head. The nose is about halfway from those eyebrows to the chin. The mouth is just slightly below the nose. Ears lining up with the eyes and the nose. Getting the neck, shoulders in, and the head shape. I'm just working on a couple little adjustments, sketching in his eyeglasses. Now, if you are, this is kind of just mainly showing you how to sketch something out like this. When you start painting, likely you would cover up a lot of your sketch. So so you can even see as I'm starting to add some skin tones here that this is getting covered up quite a bit. So you might want to consider changing up your sketch a little bit. I think it's good to get that initial sketch, but you might have to go back after you do that first layer of paint and of course draw back in some of the details that may have gotten covered up with your paint. So you can see how I have started with just some neutral skin tones. I'm putting in some slightly purpley gray colors in the hair, and right now I'm just layering this first layer of paint. I'm getting some texture in the hair. You can see I'm doing a lot of covering up. I'm a little off on my sketch, so I will probably have to make some adjustments because some things aren't looking great, in addition to the fact that I still haven't painted in his ears. So there they are, okay. And so I'm going to keep on adding extra details as I go. So think of it as your first layer is kind of blocking in just your main tones of the face, kind of like an underpainting. And then as we go forward, we want to build up the depth. So that means I'm going to be adding more contrast. I'm going to be adding more colors. The thing with painting portraits, it's so fun because you really can pretty much substitute any color for any other color as long as you stay with the same value range. So if you go too dark, then then it won't look right. But as long as you stick to the right tone, if you have a lighter part, for example, like a highlight, then you can use more of a more natural kind of skin tone, but you could also throw in some light blues or light purple even, and that will look really nice. So you can see now I have started adding in some purple. So in my darker places, I am going to now, even though obviously his skin and hair is not purple, I am still going to throw in this darker value as a way to add some depth into my color, into my skin, the colors and the skin tones. And I could have easily done this with a navy blue kind of color. I wouldn't stay away often from dark greens. Sometimes that can just make people look kind of sickly. So if that's not what you want to do, then you might want to stay away from a lot of greens. Red can also be another color to avoid using too heavily. It can also, just because you're drawing people, oftentimes putting red on people, it kind of just looks a little bit like blood. So without turning into a kind of gory looking image, which of course you might not want, then you might want to stay away from using too much red as well. So I am now layering in some of those same colors that I started with actually to just kind of glaze right on top of those purples. So I can thin my paint down a little bit so that it's not quite as thick, and I can go over it so that those purples will still show through, but it's not so overwhelmingly purple. I'm also just realizing there's a couple things that are off. So you can see you probably saw that I widened the face a little bit, adjusted some of the chin and beard area, and then of course the shoulders. The way that he was sitting in the photo, it's a little bit like his shoulders are a little bit higher, like a little bit raised. So it's a little bit of a odd angle there, but and then I just add some little highlights into the glasses. So enjoy the process. I would really recommend just experimenting with color, adding all sorts of different colors in there as you paint.